third grade. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today for ELA, we are going to be going all the way back to the beginning of the year, and we're talking about story elements in a story. So if you'll remember, we learned a new vocabulary word in the fall, and it was genre. And genre is a category. We can have all different kinds of categories and all different kinds of things in life. There are different genres of music, like country or pop or rap. And there are also different genres in literature and the things that we read. A genre that we're going to be reviewing today is a fable. A fable is a short story with animals as characters, and it also often will have a moral in the story as well. Remember, a moral is like a message. It's the theme of the story that the author is trying to teach us through the story. Today we're going to be reading The Three Little Pigs. This is the story of the Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there was an old pig with 3 little pigs, and as she had not enough to keep them, she sent them out to seek their fortunes. The first that went off met a man with a bundle of straw, and said to him, "Please, man, give me that straw to build me a house," which the man did, and the little pig built a house with it. Presently, a big bad wolf came along. He knocked at the door and said, little pig, let me come in." To which the pig answered, "No, no, by the hair on my chinny chin chin." This made the wolf angry, and he said, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So he huffed and he puffed, and he blew his house in and ate up the little pig. The second little pig met a man who was chopping wood, and said, "Please, man, give me some of that wood to build me a house," which the man did, and the pig built his house with it. Then along came the wolf and said, little pig, let me come in." "No, no, by the hair on my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So he huffed and he puffed and he puffed and he huffed, and at last he blew the house down and then ate up the little pig. The third little pig met a man with a load of bricks and said, "Please, man, give me those bricks to build a house with." So the man gave him the bricks, and he built his house with them. Then the wolf came, and as he did to the other little pigs, he said, little pig, let me come in." "No, no, by the hair on my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." Well, he huffed and he puffed, and he huffed and he puffed, and he huffed and he puffed, but he could not get the house down. When he found out that he could not, with all his huffing and puffing, blow the house down, he said, "Little pig, I know where there is a nice field of turnips." "Where?" said the little pig. "Oh, in Mr. Smith's home field. And if you will be ready tomorrow morning, I will call for you, and we will go together and get some dinner." "Very well," said the little pig. "I will be ready. What time do you mean to go?" "Oh, at 6 o'clock. Well, the little pig got up at 5 and got the turnips before the wolf came, which he did about 6, and said, "Little pig, are you ready?" The little pig said, "Ready? I have been, and come back again, and got a nice potful for dinner." The wolf felt very angry at this, but thought he would be up to the little pig somehow or other. So he said, "Little pig, I know where there is a nice pear tree." "Where?" said the pig. "Down at Merry Garden," replied the wolf. "And if you will not deceive me, I will come for you at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and we will go together and get some pears." Well, the little pig bustled up the next morning at 4 o'clock and went off for the pears, hoping to get back before the wolf came. But he had farther to go and had to climb the tree, so that just as he was getting down from it, he saw the wolf coming, which, as you may suppose, frightened him very much. When the wolf came up, he said, "What? Are you here before me? Are they nice pears?" "Yes, very," said the little pig. "I'll throw you down one." And he threw it so far that while the wolf was going to pick it up, the little pig jumped down and ran home. The next day the wolf came again and said to the little pig, "Little pig, there is a fair at Shanklin this afternoon. Will Will you go?" "Oh, yes," said the pig. "I will be glad to go. What time will you be ready?" "At 3, said the wolf. So the little pig went off before the time, as usual, and got to the fair and bought a butter churn, which he was taking home when he saw the wolf coming. Then he could not tell what to do, so he got into the churn to hide, and by doing so turned it over, and it rolled down the hill with the pig in it, which frightened the wolf so much that he ran home without going to the fair. He went to the little pig's house and told him how frightened he had been by a great round thing that came down the hill past him. Then the little pig said, "Ha, I frightened you then. I had been to the fair and bought a butter churn, and when I saw you, I got into it and rolled down the hill." Then the wolf was very angry indeed, and declared he would eat up the little pig, and that he would get down the chimney after him. When the little pig saw what he was about, he hung on a pot full of water, and made up a blazing fire, and just as the wolf was coming down, took off the cover, and in fell the wolf. So the little pig put on the cover again in an instant, boiled up the wolf, and ate him for supper, and lived happily forever afterwards. Now that we've read this story, it's time to get to the activity. For today's activity, you're going to be thinking about these story elements, and you're going to be writing out the story elements of the 3 little pigs. The first story element are the characters. I think that one will be pretty easy for you guys to get. Just think about who the characters were in the story. The next story element is setting. Setting, if you'll remember, is time and place. And we also learned sign language to go along with this in class, and it's time and place. Time and place. The next story element is the problem. The problem is the thing that happens in the story that people have to overcome. The next story element are the events. It might help you to think about the events as what happens first, second, third, and so on. You could just write them out in a list. The next story element is solution. The solution is what the character did to overcome the problem that you listed earlier. And finally, main idea. The main idea is what the story is mostly about. Usually this will be just one sentence. If you need help remembering, you could go back and re-listen to the story, or you could read through it yourself in the document that was sent to you. If you have any questions about this assignment, you can send an email to Ms. Gillespie or me, and we'll try to help you with it. That's it.